Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whatever time you will be listening to my audio message, my name is Prophetess Temidire. Today, I pray that the Lord goes before us and help you to not only be the hearer of His word, but also the doer of His word. Amen. In Jesus' mighty name. Today, we're going to be talking about consequences of disobedience. This message is for some of us that are standing on a particular promise that God has made for us, or some of us that we know that we are choosing ones. You understand? So we keep going from one spiritual warfare to some battle to some problem to this to that, and all you keep hearing God say is hold on, wait, I will do it, I am here, I am close. Everything that seems to surround you are still the promises, but looking at your time, meanwhile God's ways are not our ways and His thoughts are not our thoughts. Looking at your time, you feel when, how, and that causes us as human beings to want to re-strategize, and oftentimes we'll start creating some plan B that the devil wants us to do, you understand, and it allows us derail from the promise and the plans of God. Remember that the God we serve is a God of behind the scenes. He walks behind the scenes and He does great things. So during this time of waiting, the test of faith, you must prove to God that you are going to obey. You are in the stage that you just have to obey. Are you with me? You just have to obey. So oftentimes the devil, whisper some things to our ears. It could be comparison. Look at your other fellow. Look at this person. Are you not worshiping the same God? It feels like God has forgotten you. It feels like nothing good can come out of these promises. You look at your age and you tell yourself, at this age, okay, is God still going to do this thing? In fact, sometimes to the point that you may be working with a government organization, and probably they told you something will be open for just 3 years, and God has revealed and told you that you are going to be part of this scheme or this thing that this organization wants to pull out. At the end of the day, you may be in a situation whereby 3 years is just like a month, or sometimes even the 3 years, it passes and you keep wondering and telling God that you got several confirmation to know that it is from Him. Please, if you want to know if a confirmation is from God, I want you to pick up my phone number from the screen and get to me on WhatsApp. Let's discuss, let me counsel you, and let me pray for you. So you have received many confirmation from God, you received them, and you kept wondering why this 3 years thing had to go, and you were not called, you didn't get any letter, and the devil kept telling you that, you see, you would have done this instead, you'd have done that instead, you were waiting on one God that would never surface. Let me tell you something, our ways are not His ways, and our thoughts are not His thoughts. He is a God that bends rule, He bends policies. Things can change for your sake. If God tells you that position is for you, just sit down and relax. Sit down, relax, pray, read the Bible, focus on those words that will keep reminding you that whatever God has said, right, will always come to reality. It will always come to pass. Test of faith often feels like darkness, and it's only God's promises that can serve as your light. You have to wait. You have to keep reminding yourself of that promise. Jeremiah 29:11, Isaiah 55, verse 10 till the end. Abraham's obedience demonstrated faith is not about understanding everything, but trusting God's sovereignty. When you are kept in a season that all you have to do is to obey God, it doesn't have to make sense what you are going through. It doesn't have to make sense to you. Do you understand? There are many times that some things will happen to us and God will say, don't fight, don't even talk, be silent. And that flesh within you will keep telling you, you mean you want to keep quiet? If you keep quiet, they will repeat this thing. If you keep quiet, they will think you can't fight. If you keep quiet, they will think you are not connected. They will think you are not influential. They will think you don't have people that can fight for you. You need to dust this thing off. But that spirit will keep telling you, remain calm, be quiet. Only the wise will listen to the other spirits, the one telling you to be quiet. Because when God fights for you, you do nothing but to fold your hands. See, when God wants to fight for you, have you been in a situation where God is fighting for you and you are begging God on behalf of your enemies, or you are begging God on behalf of, those people that did you wrong, and you are telling God, please, it's getting too much at this point. God is getting too much at this point. It fights better. He fights better. And most of the time, when he's keeping us to us, it feels like delay. Now, what is delay? Why the delay? Because the man that was anointed needed time to become the man who could rule. You need to be prone. It needs to make you learn and unlearn. It needs to build you, especially if you have confirmed that you're a chosen one. It needs to prune you. It needs to make you digest some things that don't work for you anymore so that they can leave your body, can pass them out. And it needs to imbibe the new character in you. Do you understand? It needs to train you. For the purpose of what? For the purpose of that promise that is coming. So that is why sometimes it feels like you are waiting on a promise. All you have to do is, you are hearing, you have to obey. There are so many things upon you. There is anger, there is frustration, there is this, there is that. A lot of things are happening at the same time. At the end of the day, right? When you calm down and obey, you begin to see the reason why God is taking you through those tests, because the journey is far. He doesn't want someone who does not know how to forgive to rule. He doesn't want someone who has anger issue to occupy that office. He doesn't want someone who lies, who tells lies, doesn't want someone who doesn't pray to occupy position of influence. He needs the people he has pruned, the people he has designed, so that by the time you get to that office, you fit. That was what he did for David. Look at him. He knows he was going to be the king, but look at how David lived his life as a shepherd boy. He had to hide in one cave or the other and everything till he was able to emerge the king. He went through pruning. Even at that, at some other times in his life, he failed. So we need to be very, very, very careful. Now let me talk about Abraham and Sarai. Then she was Sarai. So God gave Abraham some promises and said, Abraham, you are going to be this, you are going to be that. I took you from this, I took you from that. You're going to have children. You're going to make it in life. I'm going to, give you descendants. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Fine. But one day, Sarah called him and said, I have not been able to have children. You can see this in Genesis chapter 16. He said, Abraham, I have not been able to have children. Now, take the Egyptian woman who is my slave. Her name is Agar. And, do whatever with her and let her have children. Let her have a child that will be mine. And Abraham agreed. So when Abraham agreed, after a while, when Agar got pregnant, she became proud and treated Sarah hatefully. Do you know the problem there? Abraham and Sarah could not wait. They did not obey God. Let me tell you something. All these things that happened in the Bible, they happen so that we can learn. They used their own life to teach us. They use their own life to serve as a lesson for purpose of for your purpose now in 2024, for your purpose now in 2025, and whoever will be listening to my message probably 2030. There is no character in the Bible that does not fit in with the season that you are presently. So Agar became proud. On what note should Agar become proud? If not that they disobeyed God, Abraham laid with her. Now she has a child. She feels she can outgrow and master. Sarah got angry, and she did what she had to do. Agar ran away. When Agar ran away, the Spirit of the Lord came upon her, appeared to her and told her, what is the problem? Why are you weeping? And she said, my master sent me out this. And God told her, okay, this is what you should do. And you will name the child Ishmael. And look at what God told him. He said, your son will live far from his relative. He will be like a white donkey, fighting everyone and everything fighting him. That was it. Then later on, I think Abraham prayed to God, and God said, okay, however, you see this in Genesis chapter 17, verse 20. He said, however, I have heard what you asked me to do for Ishmael, so I will also bless him with many descendants. He will be the father of 12 princes, and I will make his family a great nation. But your son Isaac, emphasis on Isaac, the promised child. He said, but your son Isaac will be born about this time next year, and the promise I am making to you and your family will forever be for him and his descendants forever. That means the promise he has made for Abraham. Now, what was the promise he made for Abraham? He said, I will always keep my promise. Now, Genesis chapter 17, verse 7. He said, I will always keep the promise I have made to you and your descendants, because I am your God and their God. I will give you and them the land in which you are a foreigner now, and I will give the whole land of Canaan to your family forever, and I will be their God. Abraham, you and all your future member of your family must promise to obey me as a sign that you are keeping this promise. And you must circumcise every man and boy in the family. From now on, your family must circumcise every boy born, every boy who was born 8 days old. You must even circumcise any man or boy you have as a slave. Then God said, Abraham, from now on, your wife Sarai, her name will be Sarah instead of Sarai, and I will bless her. I will bless her, and you will have a son by her. She will become the mother of nations, and some of her descendants will even be kings. Now look at that. A lot of promise went ahead and even went after Ishmael was born. For what? For Isaac. God's plan will always be better. I doubt if the Bible talked about Ishmael anymore. It has always been Isaac. From Isaac, then with Rebekah. Then when they married, they had twins, Jacob and Esau. Then God went ahead again with Jacob, pruning him and changing his name to Israel. From there to what we have today. Now, Abraham and Sarah thought they could make things happen by themselves. Do you understand? They could just, bring that boy, bring that son, bring that child to come. Okay, lay with my slave, and the child she will bear will be for me. Unknowing to her, she just brought curse and problem upon her, but God was so merciful to still fulfill the promise. Only if they had waited. Please wait upon God. Drop your strategies, drop every plan B, if it doesn't happen, this is what I would do. If God told, no matter how hard the situation is, please take my preaching for it. No matter how hard your situation is, just know it will not fail me. Then continue to walk in the obedience in order to quicken your answers. Today, you cannot derail from God. Tomorrow, try to be holy. Next tomorrow, you derailed. You are the one postponing your blessing. Your blessing is locked in your obedience. Thank you so much for listening to this today. God bless you so much.